Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel, Shantia's New Chapter. So today I wanted to do Single-ness Part 2. I was actually watching the video and I watched it a couple of times and I felt like there wasn't all the information. In fact, the tone felt slightly off. Even though I did enjoy the video, there were some key tips in there. In fact, I don't know what I was on when I was making that video, but the energy or the tone just felt a little bit off. So I wanted to create a second video in companionship to the first one. And we're essentially going to be doubling down on the topics that came up in the Single-ness Part 1 and just bringing it to this. So it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or if you are single. This video is going to help to clarify for you what you can do to own more of your energy, period, as a woman, right? This is what this channel is dedicated to, is helping. It's here to help you live in a way that feels the most natural, for you to feel like you can step into your truth and step into your confidence and really do things that are aligned with your path. And so essentially what I'm here to do is guide you or curate. I don't know why that word popped up, but kind of help curate the process for you. Okay, so let me just start with the first main point. Why being single is great and what it helps you to establish. Even if you're in a relationship, being single helps you to establish a foundational character. Establishing a foundational character, a solid foundation for your character, for who you are. Now, I'm not the type of person who feels like if you're not, for example, in a content partnership, that this is the time to just up and leave. I feel like you should always do whatever you can to find peace. But I often find that relationships are mirrors. They're mirrors. So whether you're in a relationship or you're not in a relationship, relationships are going to teach you about yourself. They're going to teach you about who you are. And if you don't have someone to mirror that experience to you and you're not paying attention to the mirror, and perhaps you're also single, well, that's a great opportunity for you to make a lot of mistakes without someone pointing it out to you. Right? So foundational character to me is just so important because wherever you go, you take yourself with you. So in the partnership, you still have yourself. So we often make this mistake. I think sometimes we assume that if we change our outer circumstances, we're going to change. But it's the opposite. You have to change first for your outer circumstances to change. So if you go into a relationship with the same values of let's say a single-minded, not singleness, but a single-minded person, where you're more selfish, you're just thinking about your own needs, and you're not really thinking about compromise, or you're not really thinking about the unit, then it's going to be problematic. Prior to getting into a partnership, use that singleness time to really think about how you cooperate with other people and how you love. And how love feels for you, what the experience is for you. You don't have to be in a romantic partnership to know how you experience love. You just need to know yourself. Things are happening around you all the time for you to understand yourself better. So I haven't already said it, I kind of jumped into it, but this is the Worthy, Flirty, and Thriving series. Welcome to it if you're new to it. This series is dedicated to you tapping into feeling more worthy so that you're, instead of being in a space of survival, you're in a space of thriving. And you're also feeling apt to feel more confident to flirt or be flirtatious. And to me, flirty energy is about being playful. It's about playful. It's about not putting all this pressure on yourself to achieve or do or be someone. It's about being present and enjoying life and being grateful. Okay. So I actually pulled some chakra cards randomly. You can't really see them, but I have a deck of chakra cards just to see what kind of topics I could talk about, and they gave me some really great ideas. So let's kind of go back to why foundational character is so important. Confidence is important. I knew that anytime I was going to be in a connection, especially if it was like long lasting, I was going to project. I knew that. Because I had a lot of healing to do. And I had a lot of healing to do around masculine energy. And I admit this. You know, when I'm calling people out, I'm calling myself out too. Those are my mistakes. I've made those same mistakes around people in connections. That's why I'm telling women, hey, if you can catch yourself, if you can catch your pattern, then shift it and change it to your advantage. So I had a lot of healing to do because, if I didn't clarify it in my first video, I was traumatized watching people in abusive relationships, verbally, physically, emotionally abusive relationships. And not only that, it was both ways. That's why I don't just see it from one perspective. I know that just as much as men can take advantage of women, women take advantage of men too. They're just a lot more passive about it. Passive aggressive. It's still aggressive. It's just passive. So that allowed me to understand I really needed to think. And I think we really need to find a way to think and just reflect. And this is why journaling is so important. Meditation is so important for us to reflect on who we are. What is the foundation of our character? Because who we are when we're single is exactly who we're going to be when we're in a relationship. When I'm saying, I'm talking about the foundation of your character. Loyalty, integrity, honesty, caring. Whatever you give to yourself, more than likely you give to other people too. You give that experience to other people. And some people might not understand that. They're like, well, this person's, they're so selfish. All they do is care about themselves. But in a relationship, they're not giving it all. But I'm willing to bet you part of the reason why that person's created that mentality that they can't be generous or giving is because they feel like they're lacking or they're missing something. So they get greedy, but then they're still lacking and missing something and they still feel empty. So foundational character is so important for building who you are. Take that time, if you are in your single period, to double down on really experimenting and exploring who you are and what matters to you. Your strength of character, your conviction, who you are, why are you here, what do you want to do, what do you want to be, what do you want to create, what's your vision for your life? To me, the clearer the vision, the more direct your vision, the more direct you are, the less confusing your relationships are going to be. Sometimes I'm honestly blown away because I'm into tarot that people ask for advice about how a person feels about them when they're in a relationship with that person. I'm legitimately confused because, and I know this is, maybe I'm calling people out here, but I'm like, you should know exactly how your partner feels about you by just talking to them, observing them, and being with them. You know exactly how that person feels about you. So if you're in a relationship, use that also as an opportunity to communicate and to observe your partner. We can have healthy relationships. This is what I'm dedicated to. I saw a lot of unhealthy relationships growing up, and there were times where I was essentially repeating the same pattern for myself. And I was like, okay, I can't do that. I've always had a really guilty conscience. So when I'm partaking in poor character for myself, I know it. I know when I'm not being honest. I know when I'm not allowing myself to open my heart. I know when I'm being closed off. I know when I have a wall up. And so I had to heal that. Okay, so if using your singleness time is great for confidence. It's a perfect time for you to actually gain confidence. I think sometimes we really question, am I actually confident? Do I actually feel good? And we lean on other people, right? We become somewhat codependent on other people's opinions for our worthiness. I'm calling it out because I've done it too. I've been doing it. And I still have to watch myself for that. How do I overcome that fear of other people's opinions? Someone actually judged me for like what I was doing on my other channel, and I actually never had a judgmental about that and to that extent in the comment section before. And I was just like, they complimented me and they judged me all in the same sentence, and I was like, well, that's interesting. And all I could think was, is this really going to change or shift how I moving forward? The thing is, what was ironic is before that person commented that, I was actually questioning some things. I was feeling like insecure about something. And then that happened and it mirrored my reality back to me. So I was like, oh, okay, I put that energy out into the universe. So I always tell myself when I'm getting to this place of insecurity, I try to be careful about putting myself out there, because really, when you're in a really high space of insecurity, it's going to be really hard to deal with social media. It's really going to be hard to deal with, other people's opinions. So that's why we don't need to be putting everything out there. Like, keep some things for yourself and make sure you're solidifying your worthiness on a regular basis. The way that I've solidified my worthiness is prayer. It's about having a relationship with God. That's what it has been for me. For you, it might be something different, but it's been solidifying my relationship with the divine. Because by the end of the day, releasing all this codependency and opinions about what my family thinks, other people thinks, anyone thinks, I got me and God. It's like me and God here to rely on. And I'm like, can I accept myself in that space? And I can. It's a lot easier to just like embrace who I am when I'm like, it's me and the whole universe supporting me. When I think of it in that terms. Because I do think a little bit differently from, the people I've been around and grown up with, but that's perfectly fine. This is a really good time. Singleness is a great time for you to work on your comfortability in your body. Feeling comfortable in your body. So again, I know like people put a lot of stuff on like B-Day where they say women are pressured to look beautiful or they're pressured to feel this way. I'm like, who's pressuring you? Not everyone is pressuring you. I see people all the time. They're in relationships, right? And they're not in like the best shape, but they're still in a loving connection. They're still in a deeply loving connection. There's a lot of emotional intimacy there. So what are you talking about? Who's judging you but you? Who cares about what other people think about your body? Maybe to some people it's like, oh, that's easy to say. But I'm like, really, who cares? Because by the end of the day, you're left with yourself and your thoughts. It's discipline. It's about disciplining yourself. Can we discipline ourselves enough to retrain our thoughts to love ourselves? I've told you guys, I've made videos before where I talked about, I look in the mirror. I did that since I was 13 years old. Since I was 13. Because I was very self-aware that women develop body dysmorphic disconnections with their bodies at an early age. And I was like, I do not want that. I want to have a healthy relationship to my body, and I want to have a healthy relationship to food. So I use that awareness to just watch what I ate. I indulge all the time. And honestly, indulging alone, the way that you feel in your body is punishment enough if you're overindulging. So sometimes it's hard to know how confident or how comfortable you are. Again, if you're in a relationship, sometimes you rely on that person. You're like, oh, well, he said this, so now I can feel more confident about myself. I'm like, of course it helps for us to feel boosted by the people that we're around. But I'm telling you, that's a mirror about how you already feel about yourself. You don't need anyone to tell you you're doing great for you to know that you are doing great. You just need to affirm it. Affirm it for yourself and claim it. Okay, so let's talk about some of these topics that I got in my chakra cards. So the first one we have here is I listen to my body and my feelings to know what my truth is. This is connected to the throat chakra. I listen to my body and my feelings to know what my truth is. So one of your homework assignments is to really feel what it means to feel, when you feel the confidence in your body, sorry, I lost my train of thought. When you feel the truth in your body, what does that feel like? The more you get comfortable with speaking your truth and living your truth, the less you're going to feel like you're fighting off or fending off other people and other people's opinions. Just owning it is going to align you with a community of people who are in support of your belief system. And even the people who perhaps don't agree will just leave you alone as well. So listening to your body is a magical instrument. This is where you learn confidence. This is where you learn comfortability. This is where you learn how to take care of your body. What is your truth? We have, for the next one, it's talking about strengthening the sacral chakra. This is located near your gut. So it says if you're around water, this helps it to flow. It helps your energy to flow or be attuned. Taking a bath, going for a swim, sitting near a stream, spending time by water. This is about creative expression. So I talked about that, right? Why do you want to use your singleness period of time to explore creativity? Because creativity is fluidity. Everything is creativity. Every experience that we have and we create is creativity. So sometimes we build up resentment if we haven't gotten used to or haven't gotten used to creating a life for ourselves, right? Because relationships undoubtedly require compromise and require for us to, I was talking about in my previous video, being unapologetically selfish. But to me, unapologetically selfish, what that looks like is not trying to be a representative like a lawyer and say, well, this is what I want to do. Well, this is what you don't have to do all of that if you're just owning your desires and you're saying, yes, I get to have it. Now, whether it comes or not, surrender. That's the space I live in these days. I'm not trying to control the outcome. Whether it comes or not, I surrender it. But when I say unapologetically selfish, I'm saying own it and just say, yes, I get to have it. Don't, instead of, us fighting with ourselves and saying, oh, can I have it? Can I not have it? I'm like, then it becomes indecisive. How can the universe grant it to you if you're always indecisive? It's either do you want it or do you not want it? And often what women do, because they're so community oriented, is once they get into that family dynamic, it's give time. Give. Give to the kids, give to the husband, give to the family unit. And then it's easy to forget. Sorry about that. Let me just mute my phone. It's easy to forget that you are your own creative, autonomous being. And so then women start proclaiming, I'm my own autonomous being. But the thing is, even when you were a wife and when you were a mother, you were also an autonomous being. You have always been an autonomous being. Being attuned to that is healthy early on. Being attuned to that. So that there's no resentment. You're not holding on to anything. You're a fluid, creative creature. Makes you sound like you're an animal. But we go in and out of experiences, right? You can be a mother, be a wife, but also just be you. And actually, even in all of those experiences, those are beautiful roles that you get to wear. It's an honor to be able to be a fluid, creative being who gets to partake in these expressions and these experiences. Connection is beautiful. It's a gift. Relationships are sacred. They're a gift. Okay. So your creative expression is important. Explore that because it's going to just bring so much color to your life. Being more creative brings so much more color to our lives. It brings so much color to us. And it helps to strengthen the foundation of our character as well as our relationships. I really feel passionate about this because I don't want people to feel like they need to get out of their relationship to fight for their freedom, to be more expressive. I'm like, you alone are that. The minute you decide I want to be creative, go find something creative or expressive you can do. The limitations that we think, like we feel like we're barred in, they're an illusion. Like, for example, a job. You can leave that job at any point in time, and maybe you're thinking about the money, but I'm like, there is always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And people always find a way to create a way. And I'm about letting God kind of pave that way for me. So long as I, trust that guidance. I pray about it and then I get inspiration or ideas for how I can pave the path towards my goals and my desires. It's so interesting. About 7 months ago, I shot a video. It's actually one of the main videos from my channel. And it was called Transformation, something about transformation from my Heal, Feel, and Reveal series. And I almost didn't recognize myself in that video. I wasn't very expressive. I was kind of stoic. I felt very it almost felt like militant, like a slightly more militant version of myself. And I was like, that was just 7 months ago. How have I changed so much in front of the camera? Like what changed? Because I'm just I feel like I'm the same person almost. I know things are changing, but I didn't realize it until I looked back at my videos from 7 months ago. And it just gets you thinking, like, the thing that changed is I started doing more of my creative projects. The Heal, Feel, Reveal series that I started about 7 to 8 months ago was a passion project that I felt inspired to do. And I put a lot of work into it. I created 26 videos in that series. And it helped me to get the courage by the end of it to tap into my life purpose. It was mind-blowing. And the funny part of that series is I created the title. Like, I came up with the title, Heal, Feel, and Reveal. And by the end of the series, I revealed my life purpose. And I was like, that's crazy. That's why I know when you set intentions, just like worthy, flirty, thriving, it's going to happen. And the minute I created the series, the God was like, stop trying to survive. Stop trying to survive. You're here to thrive. So what do people do when they're thriving? They create. And they stop creating in response to fear. You know, it's like, oh, I need to work because I need to pay the bills. But the most creative, like, successful entrepreneurs create. They're inspired. If we can find ourselves in that space, then we're really going to thrive. So your inner reality becomes your outer reality. When you feel like you're thriving, you're going to be thriving. And all you pull to you is opportunities of thriving. The last homework I have for you guys. So creative expression, find someone to creatively do that will help you to express yourself and who you are. You know, it's funny because, you know, once my sister had her son, her creativity just like amped up times 10. I was like, who are you? You're so creative. This is just blowing my mind. But she's always been creative. She just doesn't really always see herself as such. And I'm like, I think you're just using this as an excuse to be like creative. I think you've always been creative. But how often are we just that for ourselves? Just for the sake of it. Create for the sake. The last we have here is solar plexus affirmations. I'm motivated to pursue my true purpose. This card just came out randomly. So you're motivated. We were talking about motivation in the last, but I'm telling you, the motivation exists within you. When I was talking about motivation, when you really find something you're doing, you are motivated. So first it starts off with maybe a little bit of skepticism and then curiosity. But so long as you're aligning it with actions, it's going to become inspired, like living a life of inspiration on a regular basis. It's just going to become normal for you. So I really want you to think, let's all think about this. How can we pursue our true purpose? This specifically says true purpose. Honestly, I've heard this time and time again. We all share the same purpose. I'm going to give you guys just a second to think about what that true purpose is that we all share. The purpose that we all share is knowing who we are. And that's what I came to understand. By the time I was done with my Heal, Feel, and Reveal series about 6 months ago, I realized all I'm here to do is figure out who I am. And when I do that, other things just come. That series was a test for me to see, can I stick with something consistently, be creative, and be inspired? Yes. But then there's always an end of a chapter, and know when things are ready to end for something else to begin. So that you can continuously be aligned with that true purpose, be on that path to self-discovery. We're always wanting, I think glow-ups and transformations. Transformation is your middle name. Glow-up is your middle name. You're inherently a glow-up, transformative person. In fact, in that video, I kept talking about how we go through constant evolutions. We don't ever stop evolving. As spiritual beings, we don't stop. We just keep going on to the next level. And it's not like a game that we're trying to achieve it, but it's so beautiful to know that it never ends. So there's nothing to achieve. There's nothing to race to. It's just, can we be so present that we enjoy whatever this is? The transformation happens naturally. The more you seek, especially inwardly, sit with yourself and you ask that question, who am I? The transformation happens naturally. You don't have to make a transformation happen. You don't have to make a glow up happen. So I didn't recognize, I might play a clip maybe at the end of this video. I legitimately did not recognize myself. I was like, that's me. But why on earth is my energy so different? What the heck happened? And honestly, one of the things was I quit a job. That helped a lot. And then I started doing something that I was a lot more passionate about. And, you know, these creative projects. And in the process, I'm learning. I'm just like, wow, I'm blown away. I keep learning more about myself. And I'm like, just when I think, okay, I've discovered it, there's something else. This is the invitation I'm offering you. Every day should feel exciting just to be alive. You know, these days, you know, I was talking about in my previous video, that deep satisfaction. Filling up your cup, knowing how to fill up your cup is important. But in my previous series, it was all about achievement. It's like, go, 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 do it. This series, ironically, I thought that's kind of what it was going to be about, but it's actually more about being present and establishing a deep satisfaction within yourself. And you realize that you're an inherently worthy being of all of the abundance or whatever life, you know, the blessings that life has to offer that's always happening. Just being able to be alive and witness life, to feel, to breathe is an honor. It's a blessing. That is what I'm offering to you. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for showing support for the channel. Continue to show support by hitting the like and subscribe, checking out any of my other videos available. And I have my spiritual channel, Beautiful Awakening with Shantia, very esoteric. If you're ready for it, on it, I've created a new series called The Wake Up Call. This is help to assist with your spiritual journey. I do channeled messages, and I do pick a card readings on there for you, for what, you know, for a path that you're interested in creating. And essentially, I often feel called to, and I work with my guides, I call them my guides, to help people align with their purpose better. That's pretty much what I feel called to do, mostly called to do. All right, I hope you guys have a beautiful day or evening. Let me know what you thought of this video. Comment in the comment section. Tell people about your story. You know, this is the time. Let me know if there's any kind of topics you want me to talk about or discuss. Maybe something that's going on in social media. I'm always fascinated by what's the popular topic or what's trending, and kind of like picking it apart or deciphering or combing through it. If that's something you'd be interested in me doing for this series. Tell me more of what the kind of content you're interested in experiencing. I would love to create this experience or the dream experience for you in this series. If you want that, you need to let me know. All right, bye.